All right, this was another one I wanted to do where they altered the text to try to write Jesus into the Old Testament or the Tanakh. Psalms 22:16. They wrote in pierced. Okay, I'm just going to show this quickly because it's really not much here except for people trying to invent controversy when there's not. Okay, um, Psalms 22:16. It should read, this is the verse in which they took like a lion and changed it to pierced. If you read the context, you can figure out without having any Jewish Bible that like a lion is the original. Um, like a lion in the original, we're talking about the speaker is David, and he is speaking of his own predicament. Okay, that's what's going on here in these verses. He felt abandoned, and he felt hopeless. Everything was not going for him. His enemies wanted to kill him. His son wanted to kill him. His best friend betrays him. It's just hopeless. And when you read Psalms 22, 14, 22, he continues his talk with the same kind of imagery that he's using in 22:16. He's using lions and oxen and everything, all kinds of things. That's how he's talking. Okay, so he's using those words outside, all around the context as well. Not to mention the fact that the original Masoretic text has it as like a lion, and every single time that like a lion is found in the text, anywhere in the text, okay, it's where those four letters in Hebrew are used, it's always translated to like or as a lion every single time in the Christian Bible. So, but the only time it's not is when those four letters are used in this one verse in Psalms. And then there's a whole bunch of controversy. They're going to sit there and go like, well, we have a scroll that we found that this line was extended and it looks more like dug in, and that word I could change the word to dug in or something. So that means like, oh, now we can somehow get myself to pierced. That's like basically how it happened. I mean, and there wasn't even a Masoretic text that they were pulling from, so which isn't the original text of the Bible. Okay, so it's irrefutable, it's unambiguous, it's simple. Okay, but the problem is people not understanding the concept here. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to bust it out real simple because every single time the Jewish four-letter word like a lion, like I said, it always is found anywhere in the Bible. It's found lots of times. It's always translated properly. All right, except there, and that's the go-to verse. Okay, now nobody in those days believed that text said pierced. Okay, because believe me, if anyone did at any time, all over Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John would have been saying, look, man, and they would have been saying, look, he's the Messiah, and they would prove it. Well, because that's what they were doing. That's what all the apostles were doing, is proving that he was the Messiah. Because, they needed to prove it with, how they have to prove it? They had to prove it with the Bible, folks. Okay, that's why I'm doing this. This isn't about like taking the Bible and, and looking into it. They had to prove it with the Bible. All right, they couldn't prove it by looking into it. That's what I'm trying to say. They couldn't. That wouldn't work for anybody. So they had to show them text. All right, and showing someone pierced your hands and feet. That sure sounds like Jesus. Okay, that sounds like someone dying on a cross. Lots of people died on a cross in them texts. Lots of people. Okay, lots of prophets too, false and true. But if you took the real word in there, it doesn't. And the context, which I said earlier here just now, it doesn't work out like that. So nobody in the early days thought that it was pierced, because if they did, they would have quoted from it. It'd be insane to think that they wouldn't. That doesn't even make sense in any way, shape, or form. And this isn't about no crystal ball needed for that. So because you can understand if someone had in any time, shape, or form in those days, or in the early Christian days, or any time, had an explicit reference to a crucifixion from the Old Testament, and they didn't quote from it, If you're going to buy that, then that's why you're believing all these other things. Because let's be honest, this verse, and you've had to have heard it, is a go-to Christian verse to show that Jesus is the Messiah. One more thing to make sure you can prove it. Because remember, you got to prove it. You can't just believe. I know you think that you can just believe, but all the apostles had to prove it. And the Bible says you have to prove all things, and you're not doing that. I'm proving that you're not. I'm proving that what they told you is wrong, and you just need to get yourself into it to find out. All right? It's not my opinion, and these are none of my opinions. Thank you.